everybody, and a very warm welcome back to the latest episode of Hidden Jewels of Soul and Disco. I do hope you're doing absolutely fantastic. This is a special episode for me because this week Souldisco reached 3,000 subscribers, and that's still absolutely unbelievable to me. When I've made the video that I reached 1,000 subscribers, and I'm repeating what I said in that video, I never thought when I started that channel that I even reached 100 subscribers. So for me, this is absolutely unbelievable. And foremost, I would like to thank you. You are the driving force behind me to produce every week content you enjoy, to improve myself all over the time. And also I love the discussions I have with you guys, and also the titles you're suggesting. I just enjoy that tremendously. And so thank you so much for making this journey with me together. This week we are featuring an artist who became a real legend decades after she left the music business. And therefore this week we are featuring Ann Sexton. Why Ann Sexton, after being away from the music business for over 3 decades, started to appear again in 2007? Well, we'll discuss this after some needle drops.
To others it's not the same, but to you, boy, my love is for real, baby. Say you got your reasons and you're on your way. For so long, it just comes natural. Yeah, baby.
Mary Ann Sexton was born on February the 5th in 1950 in Greenville, South Carolina. And she has her musical roots, like many singers before her and after her, you guessed it right, in gospel music. She's also the cousin of singer-songwriter Chuck Jackson. I will feature Chuck in future episodes as he has a fantastic career on his own. During her teenage years, she was taking part in talent shows, which she regularly won. Therefore, she decided to try her luck in the music business, and she became the backup singer of the group Elia and the Ibanez. And also during that time, she met her future husband, Melvin Burton. He was the saxophonist of the group. Together, they founded a new group which was called Ann Sexton and the Masters of Soul. During one of the appearances with the group, songwriter and record label owner David Lee saw her and signed her immediately to the Impulse record label. And she released on that label her first single in 1971, which was called You Are Letting Me Down. Shortly after, she signed with John Richburg's 77 Records, and look at that logo. I'm so in love with that logo. Some of these 70s and also 16 record company logos are for me just pure art. She released what would become one of her biggest hits ever. In 1973, she released You're Gonna Miss Me, which later on became a highly successful record in the northern soul scene. Also, at that point, she released her first record, and this was called Loving You, Loving Me. What I find is so great also about this record is that she has co-written many of the songs on that album with her husband. So I always find it's so important and so great that if you are a singer and an artist and you write your own material also for the royalties later on, it's absolutely important. And if you have the ability to do that, that's just fantastic. Many artists also, if they wrote their own material in the 70s, so that's the time range I can say, had problems getting their material on the record, because actually the songwriting and the publishing is where the money comes in. So I find it a tremendously great achievement for her and her husband to release as much material as possible on that record. If you want this record as an original, I'm wishing you all the luck in the world. I have never seen an original copy in the wild. And it's also super rare. If you want to have an original, you have to pay at least a couple of $100. And even then, on Discogs, I think as a version, it's VG for some $100. So yeah, finding it in VG Plus or Near Mint would be, I think, even more expensive. That album did something, but not so much. And when 77 Records folded, she went to Monumentum. And Monumentum had a sub-label which was called Soundstage 7. So she really had something with the number 7. But anyway, she released in 1977 The Beginning. And here it is in all of its glory. I'm putting it out of here. You can see it better. We don't have too much reflection. When I first saw just the cover, I instantly fell in love with it. For me, this is just one of the most perfect covers I have ever seen, starting from the font of her name to that glorious picture of her. That's just absolutely awesome. I love it. Here is the back of the cover. I love every song on that record, but I want to point out I'm His Wife, You're Just a Friend, which was a minor hit in the charts, and also Color My World Blue are just classics from this album. If you want to have an original copy of this one, there are between 50 to 100 euros or dollars. So they're out there. They are way more available than her first album. So yeah, I can only recommend that you check that out. After the release of that album, nothing really happened. So she decided at one point to go into the education business. She became a paraprofessional. So I had to actually look that up. So what I understand is if without being a professor or have a certain academical degree, you can be an assistant of the person with the academical degree, or you kind of have the position to teach in the education business. And that's what she did for decades. When her song, You Are Losing Me, was featured in 2003 in the movie 21 Grams, the demand for her music became higher and people started to get an interest of what happened to her. Where is she now? Is she still alive? What's happening? And a German producer and DJ tracked her down in a school, and the story of how everything happened was just absolutely stunning. So he called her and he tried to call her, and she finally picked the phone up and said, "Hey, I'm a German DJ and a producer of a big festival, and we would like to fly you over and you can sing in front of a large crowd." And she was like, "Are you insane? People remember me?" And so it took a lot of time and effort from him to convince her that she's actually very loved. She couldn't believe it. And finally, in 2007, after 3 decades of being gone from the music business, she appeared on the stage up here in Germany on the Baltic Soul Weekender for the first time. And here is some footage.
You're losing me, whoa baby, yeah. You're losing me, whoa baby, yeah. Used to have a good thing going.
And she's touring ever since. And I'm feeling very lucky and also privileged that she took the time when she appeared in Spain to sign my record, which was absolutely mind-blowing for me. I just couldn't believe it, and it was a great honor. In 2010, she retired from the educational business and released her latest single, Up. In her whole career, she only released 2 albums. Fortunately, both albums are available as reissues. If you say, I don't want to go for the original, it's just absolutely not in my budget, you can go for the reissues, which are, like I said before, between 10 to 20 euro. And for me, it's great to have a kind of happy ending, because as an artist, you release material like 30, 40 years ago and like, okay, I'm forgotten. Nobody really cares about me. I still enjoy what I created, but yeah, somehow it wasn't meant to be to have the great successful stage career. And then you are getting on stage like 30 years later, people know the lyrics to your song. People are just cheering at you. You kind of have that happy end for you. This is just for me an absolutely great point to end that video. So the Ann Sexton story is for me finally one where I can say she got back on stage and she could like see how much her music means to the people, that she's not been forgotten, and especially not her music. I hope you enjoyed that video. Once again, a big thank you to you for making this possible, for driving me, and for just being there, watching it, enjoying it. And hopefully you'll find an artist which you find, oh, I might like here to hear that tune, and getting into the soul scene, into the disco music and all of this. So once again, a big thank you. Stay safe, stay healthy, listen to good music, maybe Ann Sexton, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.